After staying away from the road for about 4 months, we are headed towards our next big destination. Of course, you all have already gathered the idea from our intro. Yes, thorough preparation of nearly 2 months made us prepared for this solo driving trip to Lo-Manthang, Upper Mustang in Nepal. It started right from deciding the routes, booking the stopover accommodations, managing the circuit permits, thorough overhauling our machine, and finally accumulating all the courage that prepared us for this daredevil adventure. Our day 1 stopover will be at Muzaffarpur, as we will be taking the Roxol border to enter Nepal. Beyond our imagination, the Bihar roads kept us surprised. Besides some niggling traffic at certain congested areas, super smooth and decent white roads welcomed us throughout, and we reached Muzaffarpur in an insignificant manner. As soon as we navigated out of the chaotic Muzaffarpur traffic and hit Asian Highway 42, we kept sailing. Roughly we have to cover 135 km till we cross Roxol border and reach Birganj Custom Office, from where we have to arrange vehicle permit to enter Nepal. All went well until the last leg of Roxol Bazaar, where we had to cross ocean of heads and uncountable two-wheelers. It took us 30 minutes to get out of that 1 kilometer entanglement. Arranging permit was no such difficult task other than the initial jolt wherein the head of customs was reluctant in giving 15 days of permit. But once our itinerary was explained, he was more than glad to approve us the permit. Glad because we are self-driving solo to Lo-Manthang. Had to pay roughly 12,000 INR, against which we got a permit with 15 days validity. Moreover, our agent was cooperative enough to offer us the exchange of 10,000 INR to NPR, which is way more than enough to meet our fuel and miscellaneous expenses until we reach Pokhara. It is an absolute thrilling experience right now, as it is our first road travel beyond the borders of India. Our day's stopover will be at Pokhara. Have to cover 263 kilometers roughly. Actually not a big distance, but the loss of more than 2 hours to cross the border, arrange the vehicle permit and the local SIM card will surely derail our estimated reach out time. With no such major hiccups, we reached Pokhara at around 9:30 pm, 2+ hours behind our scheduled check-in time. The rising sun behind the hillocks of Pokhara Lake revealed a brand new day. Perched on top of a hillock, our hotel provides 180-degree view of Pokhara Lake. It compelled us to sit back the entire morning, submerging into the beauty of the horizon. During the rest of the day, we took care of lot of things like currency exchange, meeting our guide Mr. Sherpa Sanghi from Global Adventure, our travel planner, and lastly, the final minute shopping of essentials. Next morning at around 9 o'clock, our packed vehicle flagged off from Pokhara towards the hidden kingdom of Lo through absolutely unfamiliar terrain, with Sanghe as our only support system for the next 7 days. Today's drive will be roughly 130 km from Pokhara. Pokhara being at 2,700 feet, today we will be climbing up to 8,530 feet. According to the brief provided by your travel planning agency, it should take ±7 hours to reach our day 1 stop, which will be at Kalopani guest house. Expectedly, the first leg of 3 hours of driving will take us 85 km away to Beni Bazaar with relatively smooth transition over decent blacktop road. And then we will start following the Kali Gandaki river. This stretch of 45 km until Kalopani guest house has been briefed to us as a driver's nightmare. Well, let's see how that goes. So far, so good. But to what extent will this wow effect stay? That's what we kept on speculating while continuing to enjoy the serpentine road through the hills. By the way, one significant observation that we can't miss out is the characteristics of the landscape through which we are passing. The mountains that surround us are quite high in comparison to what we normally see in northeastern part of India, namely Sikkim or Darjeeling, wherein the roads are also much narrower than these in Nepal. Needless to say, it's a new experience to us. As far as the route is concerned, we have to continue following Pokhara-Baglum highway until we reach the Y crossing before Maldunga bridge, from where we have to take the rightish leg of the road towards the Beni Bazaar. Literally, after a few kilometers of Kushma Bazaar, Kali Gandaki river kept witnessing our journey. Sange told us that she will be by and large prominent till a tiny village called Chele. Our conversation with Sange enlightened us about the treacherous Ghat road ahead of Beni Bazaar. Well, though we are yet to reach the Ghat road, but the condition of the road we are already traversing through is giving us quite a tough time to maneuver our machine. If this is already so, then it summarizes that hell is a bend away. And putting an end to all our speculations, here starts the hell road to heaven. What can be described now is that once upon a time there was a road here. Discussion with Sange revealed that this road penetrates through severe landslide prone terrain, and every year whatever the authorities could build, it gets washed away during next year's monsoon. As a result, this path could never be completed. Strange character of this path, we must say. A mix of gradual inclination and drop, filled at places with white dust and rocks. And where the streams are crossing the path, it becomes really miry. Driving difficulty is at its height when we are crossing narrow sections, as because massive landslides wash down half of the road to river Kali Gandaki. Places, the road is becoming so dangerously slippery that we are literally struggling to keep our wheels in the right direction. Driving through the deepest gorge demanded us to be super cautious, more because we are all by ourselves in our own vehicle. Driving solo, and that too in a foreign soil. One false move and we will be found few hundred meters down at the bed of Kali Gandaki river. could easily realize that we will miserably fail to attain our estimated reach out time, but we ain't into Red Himalaya, so decided to take it easy. At times, the path is becoming so intensely undulating that while we are climbing the inclination, we can't even figure out which way the path is bending and to what extent will be the dip. End result, this is seriously slowing us down. Most importantly, our frustration is shooting up when the bikers are not only crossing us but tackling this path effortlessly. We are really missing our adventure tourer now. The only thing that kept our mind refreshed is the peaking southern range of snow-capped Nilgiri mountain. Here comes the nightmarish stretch of path which is not only hellishly bumpy but terrifyingly cramped too. Any vehicle coming from opposite direction and bang! We will have no other option but to engage our reverse gear and oh boy, it will be really scary as hell. With the high hope of not encountering any oncoming traffic, let's keep our wheels rolling. Oh, what a relief! However, in spite of all the ever-changing difficulties, challenges or risk involved in dominating this kind of terrain is always something that keeps us on our toes. Back then in Calcutta, when our acquaintances heard about our quest to Upper Mustang, lot of them was strangely unaware of this part of Nepal even. Maybe Upper Mustang is not meant for non-adventurous normal tourists who come to Nepal, while it's more popular to Australian, Europeans or the Americans. In fact, this time we have hardly noticed Indians in Pokhara too. Mid-November though is not exactly a preferred tourist season, but who can stop mad mountain lovers like us, who give a damn about the beginning of the frigid cold winter? But yes, after driving for hours on the very first day of our Himalayan Odyssey, we can well understand that Upper Mustang is not meant for the faint-hearted. More we are traversing further, more difficult our course is becoming. Rough road turning into off-road and furthermore into no road.
Hell yeah, game on.
But since there is a thin red line between adventure and disaster, we can't deny the fact that the dimming daylight started to take a toll on our nerves. Since 9 in the morning, we have been rolling our wheels non-stop for almost 7+ hours by now. And over asking, when our guide Sange told us that we had yet to traverse quite a distance that will take another 2+ hours, both of us could sense our mounting restlessness. All of a sudden, the mighty Rupse waterfall gave an appearance. Force of water falling from almost 1,000 feet is not only a view worth cherishing but also acted as a fabulous stimulator to divert our fatigued mind. But not for long. High above the Kaligandaki river, maneuvering our wheels through the most daunting pathway of the deepest gorge of the world with dimming daylight brought back staggering stress very soon. It's not that a vehicle isn't well equipped to sufficiently illuminate pitch dark mountain road, or we are inexperienced motorists, but the path so far we have crossed demanded too much of our absolute concentration, resulting our brain to be over-fatigued. Anyways, we came to conquer Upper Mustang knowing the risks. Henceforth, we ain't going to surrender to our tiredness. But one thing we must absolutely admit, hats off to our guide Mr. Sherpa Sanghe. What incredible endurance to hold himself onto the rear bench seat of a tossing jeep. We ourselves are having a real tough time sitting on more enjoyable larger front seats with proper backrest and seat belts on, while we can well imagine what Sanghe is going through. But not a single complaint from him. And he kept us engaged and amazed, describing his experiences as a guide, and we kept sharing ours too. More we are nearing our first day halt at Kalopani guest house, more the pathway is becoming unbearably treacherous. It is well understood that why journey to Upper Mustang is considered to be a deadly one. By the fall of daylight, our cautiousness in one hand doubled and on the other hand, restlessness tripled. But amid all this staggering stress, I myself couldn't suppress my overwhelmed awe by seeing own self so closer to the Annapurna range. But I came back to my senses as my responsibility was to navigate. Good news is that we have done it almost and the daybreak is nearby. From Rupse waterfall, it was mere 15-kilometer drive to a stopover, and it took us almost 72 minutes to reach. Damn! Time to crash. Let's see what awaits tomorrow.